I have a buddy who has a birthday coming up, and among my group of friends, we're not gentle with each other, and we give some brotherly pokes and prods here and there. And birthdays are prime time to do that. It used to be in younger days, you would be invited out to dinner, and then there would be a birthday paddling in public. That hadn't happened in a while. But what I thought I would do is celebrate something that he holds near and dear to his heart for his birthday. Taco Bell. His Taco Bell order literally has not changed since he was an adolescent, and it's a shredded chicken burrito, 2 bean burritos, no onions, and a pack of hot sauce. Now, about a month ago, Taco Bell did away with the shredded chicken and the Mexi pizza. But anyway, it hurt him a lot. So I thought that I would make sure that he fondly remembered his first culinary love. So happy birthday, Ross. I did this for you. The material I'm going to use is a scrap piece of walnut that I have. It has a big knot in it and the edges are funky, but the grain's beautiful. And I think once it gets some carving on it and a little bit of paint in the letters and finish on top of that, I think both signs will really pop. So let me show you what I'm doing. Here's that piece of walnut after it went through the planer. It still needs to be sanded. Somebody needs to change his knives. I can feel the ridges. And then there's that knot I was talking about. But the way I'm going to do the signs is, I thought about incorporating this, and I thought about filling it with an epoxy and then sanding it down and all that. I'm going to cut around it. You'll never see it. They'll never see it. But need to go ahead and put this on the joiner, take care of the edges, and then cut it roughly to size, and then I'll take it over to the CNC and carve me some signs. I think, though, learning a lesson from some previous sign work, I think I'm going to try to cut some scrap plywood first. Make sure that all my setup is right, my bits are correct, and my speed and everything, because this is my only piece of walnut. And I don't want to go to the wood store, especially wood store right before the holidays. So let me test that out. Let me test out my design real quick. Hold on. I made the design in V-Carve, switched over to Easel, and then used some scrap plywood I had in the shop for the test. One quick digression. So I get asked about this sometimes. Either someone sees it in the background of the video or it's in the video, and I've never really talked about it. I mean, I have in the comments, but not on tape. So this is a 5.5-inch floppy disk tray I got from Goodwill or something, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago. And it's what I keep all my discs in. So you've got 60, 80, 120, 223, 40 actually, not 320, because I couldn't get those. But yeah, that's the way that I keep it all organized, and it has really worked. I mean, it is upcycling at its finest. So, new plan. I was dicking around with a camera mount, and I ended up dropping part of the mount onto the piece I was working on, and I put these giant divots in it. Now, yeah, I could steam those out, I guess. In walnut, that's a little difficult, but yeah. New plan, I'm going to flip it over and use the other side. It is a little early in the project to be screwing up, though. Here's what the first coat of satin poly looks like on these. Now, it's real fresh, and so it's real shiny. It will satin up fairly quickly. So this is the only coat of satin I'm going to put on here before I tape it up, but I'm going to let it cure for a couple days in the heat of the house. Alright, here we go. We're all taped up. It's down. It's pressed in really good. I like about an 1/8 inch seam. And then if you have a roller for like letterpress, a roller would be really good. But if not, just make sure that the tape is done really well on your material. And for clamping, I like to keep everything nice and neat. You can add more tape later before you paint, but for carving, as few pieces as possible all the way across. Ignore that. There's nothing that's going to be cut there. Ignore. As few pieces across as possible, like one whole piece is the best, and no wrinkles in through your material. Try to get all your wrinkles out. So there we go. Now after the cut's done, go in and check and make sure you're not missing any bits of tape or there's no pull-ups. A little issue with the K I need to fix with a razor blade. And then the Taco Bell I'll fix. But remember, you're just going to flood this thing with paint, and so some of these issues, they'll just go away. In addition to the razor blade for the tape, to clean out some of these letters that there's a little burr left or something, I'll actually pull out my carving chisels and grab my smallest, steepest V-gouge and go in and clean up some of those letters. These were my results from a light primer coat and then 2 paint coats that I let dry 24 hours between each coat. Here it is, all cleaned up with the very first coat of satin finish on it. Now it's glossy right now because it's fresh, but it'll satin up. And sorry about the light glare. So I'll get a good picture of it after everything's dry with 2 good coats on it. Before I do the final finish sanding to get rid of some of this, I went ahead and did the edges. Now you could do a round over there, or you could frame it or put it in a shadow box. For these signs, I chose to do a 45 bit in the router, and I think that looks nice and classic. And then I'll do a rear mount for it. I'll show you that. So for mounting holes, you can nail on one of those clips. I just cut an inset in, and I just used a straight edge and a trim router, made sure it was all even, a 1/4 inch plunge bit. And then to make sure that the hole was canted just a little bit to grab onto the head of a nail, before I ran it, I just put a piece of scrap, a piece of almost 1/4, not quite, scrap there. What that did was canted the bit so that it would have the right purchase on a nail. Seeing this post made all the time that it took to make this sign absolutely worth it.